The Rangers roster seems like a bit of a mess. Celtic are dominating in games, but we're struggling to convert. Brendan Rodgers has a message for his critics. Celtic win the league on their day off. One team this weekend had fun. Alright, so that was a fun and sort of stressful game. Let's start with Rangers. I remember before the game, the lineup came up for Rangers and I loved it. I was not expecting Barisic to play. When our lineup came up, you were like, we're just picking our best team. Their lineup came out and they're like, oh, so they're adjusting things to try and play to us, which they're not playing their game. They're trying to playing to us and they're trying to slow us down. The biggest problem with their roster is Sterling is only one person. They need 2 or 3 more. He's a right back who has played every position except for right back and goalkeeper, and he's probably better than most of the other players that he replaces. The centre back pairing is what we thought was going to be. They started with Sutton, who ended up getting taken off injured, and what's his name? Ben Davies, who's really only played 20 minutes in the last several months. I was very surprised that they actually played Barisic. I actually thought they would have played Sterling on the left, but they decided to play him on the right wing. Again, they're trying to go against our weakness. Our weakness, as we know, is the defence on the left-hand side. So they're putting Tav and Sterling on that right-hand side to try and go against our weakness. Didn't really work. I think they had more success down the other side anyway. Also in the middle of the field, our 2 best players, arguably, Matt O'Reilly and Callum McGregor, were pretty much just given free run to run around. Don't know what was going on with that. The amount of times one of them's just standing there free. Why wasn't someone in marking? What were they doing? Which brings us to Lundstrom. So his job was pretty much to mark Matt O'Reilly, which he'd done an absolutely horrendous job at. I don't know how he scored that own goal. I don't know what he was trying to do. Like, it doesn't look like he's clearing it. It looks like he was trying to score. I have no idea how that happened, but thank you. And then his red card. Now, I think everyone can agree that that is a red card, except for maybe Kenny Miller, but if you've seen that video, he's an absolute idiot. He's saying it's not a red card because VAR went and slowed it down so you could actually see his studs hitting him on that ankle. I have no idea what Kenny Miller was on about. What an idiot. But I think everyone can agree. He flew in out of nowhere, studs up, nowhere near the ball, took out the player. It's a red. The issue is, why was it even there in the first place? That's our right back. He's meant to be defending. He's come flying down the field, made an absolute ridiculous tackle no matter where it is, but it's not even his job. He's meant to be marking O'Reilly, who's now left free again, so he can go and make a ridiculous tackle and get sent off. That was mind-blowing for us and Rangers fans. And again, Silva has a chance to score with a header, but he decides, oh, there's a player next to me, so instead of actually just putting his head on the ball and scoring, he's played for a penalty, which he didn't get. Silva is useless. He's got to be one of the most useless loan players we've ever seen. £35 million apparently he was bought for. What? I hope they kept a receipt, because this guy's ridiculous. Hey Jared, sorry to interrupt. Stevie, what are you doing here? You aren't meant to be on today. Massive win. A win in the derby and you don't have me on? You're a mess. I had to come on. Couldn't hold myself back. I'm hyper. I'm bouncing off the walls. I'm just buzzing about today's game. And it's not fair on your viewers if I don't turn up. Alright? Most of them only just tune in to see me. Alright, well, you're here now, so how was the game? The atmosphere was electric. Massive performance from us. Rangers are a mess, and I am bouncing. Haven't sat down since pre-game pints at the pub. I don't think I'll be sitting down anytime soon either. It's like that time last year when I had the hemorrhoids. Your enthusiasm is contagious, Stevie. You are welcome. Right, there's a pint with my name on it. Alright, well, thanks for popping in. Before you go, what was your highlight of today's game? Alright then, looks like Stevie's gone. Uh, Thanks, Stevie, for popping in. I've no idea what Clement's thinking with like the lineup that he started with and then his substitutions. Like, I understand Sutton got injured, but then he's taken his only one good player from right wing and put him at centre back, which is Sterling. Sterling hasn't played centre back, and he's never played centre back with Ben Davies before. I mean, we never scored in the second half, so like this shows Sterling is just versatile and can play anywhere. They need another couple of Sterlings, realistically. But they brought in McCausland, who didn't really do a lot in the game. It was an interesting substitution, especially like they still had Leon King on the bench. He is a centre back. If you were taking a centre back off, why would you even bother having a centre back on your bench if you're not planning on using him? Then later on in the game, when they actually need a bit of offense, brought on Wright. That I just laughed when I saw that. I was like, I have no idea what tactics they're going with, if they actually have tactics. Like, Corey Wright is useless, and he was improved as Wright. And one big thing I thought was hilarious: Cantwell didn't play, which he doesn't. He hasn't had great games against us. He gets too mentally distraught, or I don't know the words, but he actually brings a bit of fire. Like, after the last game, he was starting to get into it with Callum McGregor. So he's the only player that actually showed a little bit of like aggression, and he's benched. People were asking what was going on. Apparently he's not injured. Clement just decided it wasn't a game for him to play with when they were down to 10 men. But most games he's one of their more creative players and can actually make something happen, but they decided to go with Scott Wright instead. I know we're not meant to be making excuses for Rangers, but Clement, like, hell, I was like, I'm glad he made the decisions he did because we won the game, but if I was a Rangers fan watching what was going on, I'd be confused and frustrated. We're starting to get into this habit, it seems, where we dominate a game, but the more we dominate, the less we actually score. Like in this game, we had 22 shots, only 6 shots were on target. We had 68% possession, with 553 passes to 255 from Rangers. And you could tell, like, we dominated in that second half. But when they went down to 10 men, we did nothing. We got a penalty that we missed, but the 2 goals, one goal that we scored, I don't think you can count Lundstrom's goal as one of our goals, but we scored 1 goal. That was it. Then they went down to 10 men, and then we some good chances, but we need to start converting. This happened again with the Hearts game. Like, we were pretty much dominating possession, and then we scored our 2 goals, and then we actually started dominating that game. Couldn't convert again. Like, the thing we got, again, a penalty, but we actually scored that one. I think one of the turning points of the game, though, was Matt O'Reilly's penalty. I came out after and said it was terrible. He said it was a bad penalty, and it was. And again, like, it was predictable because apart from the one that he hit down the middle, he's always going to the right hand side, and I thought, oh, Butland knows that 80% he's going to go to the right, and he did. It was very predictable, and it was also a terrible penalty, like in the middle, easy save for him. And I felt like that was kind of the turning point of the game. Like, Riley was he was absolutely dominant before then, and you could tell he was having fun because he doesn't usually celebrate too much after his own goals, but this one he really did celebrate. So I think this game meant a lot to him. So when he missed the penalty, he didn't have that sort of edge that he had for the whole start of the game, and it seemed like a bit of the intensity also came out of the rest of the team as well. Alistair Johnson got taken off. Not sure if he actually has an injury now or when he's going to be back, but Ralston came on and looked great. I remember when he came off, I was like, that's alright, we've got Ralston. Ralston will do a pretty decent job. And I actually think Ralston done a better job Alistair Johnson did. So we are down to Ralston for the next 2 games and the final. I'm not overly worried, but let's hope Alistair Johnson isn't actually injured. No matter what you might hear, the title race is not won yet. We need 1 more point from the next 2 games as long as Rangers win both theirs. So we don't have it in the bag. I'm pretty sure the team's not going to be going out next game going, oh, we've already won. And even if we have, we still want to go out and actually win games and perform. Next game Rangers have got is against Dundee. So I actually kind of want Dundee to win. Nah, not Dundee. I want Rangers to win this game, because that means we can actually control our destiny. We can go in to Rugby Park, win the game, and win the championship. It just kind of loses its edge if Dundee end up winning the game, and then that's it. We've won the league on our day off. It really doesn't. It's good to win the league, but it's not as fun. So Brendan Rodgers has shot back at critics. Came out with a quote today. He said, "So from a personal level, I have been treated like a novice since I've come back here, like it's my first job. However, my principal objective is to make sure Celtic win. Part of that is a part of the criticism, and I understand that." So I'm pretty sure he can't wait to raise the trophy at the end of the season and just kind of silence his critics. I don't think he'll say much. He's not Silva, but that's it would be a big weight off his shoulders. And then hopefully we can start to retool. He can actually get some players that he wants in the next window, because when you look at the game today, not a single person that wasn't there last year started today's game. So we definitely need some fresher players in the door. So I watched the game at the pub with several hundred other Celtic fans. It was great. It was a great atmosphere. Broke up a fight. That was interesting. Didn't get a preview video out for this game. I actually spent a couple of hours filming and writing the script for it and doing all my dot points, and then realised, oh, my camera hadn't actually filmed it, and it won't save it, and it actually crapped itself. So I had to go out and spend like $1,500. That's why it looks different. So didn't plan on spending a lot of money, but now I have. So I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, if you've got this far anyway. Make it worth buying a bloody expensive camera to make these videos. Just kind of means it's like, alright, cool, I'm in for the long run now. Got to get value out of this camera. So I hope you like this video. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, tomato sauce does not go on hamburgers.